I am pleased to welcome Josh Bernoff, Senior VP at Forrester Research. Do you think of any threats that companies are facing today due to the emergence of such new technologies, and how should they respond to it?
Well, there are some very visible threats that can come when a single customer becomes unhappy and develops a following. We talk about two of them in the book as examples. Heather Armstrong, a blogger also known as Deuce with a very large following. She's known as a mommy blogger. She had some serious problems with a Maytag washing machine that they couldn't repair, and in the end she started tweeting to 1 million followers, "Do not ever buy Maytag." Okay, so that's a risk. Then there's people like Dave Carroll from United Airlines. He flew United Airlines. They broke his guitar. He wrote a song about it. And as a result of that, over 9 million people have now heard that United breaks guitars. But the overall risk is not just one of these explosions happening. The risk is that you're going to miss out on the possibility to engage your customers. On the plus side, on the positive side, once you actually realize that your customers and what they're saying is a marketing force, you can do things like Microsoft did, where they took the people who were saying positive things about their product, assembled all of that into one feed, and put that on the homepage of Windows when they released Windows 7. Now, this is a way to take people saying positive things and actually use them as a marketing force, and it's missing out on that kind of activity that's the risk, really, the biggest risk here.
And how do you think employees that are now using social platforms, social tools, can actually leverage all the opportunities that are rising today for companies and making the companies more profitable or more competitive?
You know, getting employees to get connected with this stuff is not the problem. We found already that more than 1/3 of information workers in the United States are using some form of technology that isn't sanctioned by the IT department. They're using sites like LinkedIn for sales prospecting, or they're using mobile phones, smartphones that they got themselves for outreach to customers. And in a world like this, the question is, can you manage that activity in a way that's beneficial? We look at places like Chubb, where they actually have innovation contests to try and identify people who have good ideas to help the business and actually support them and help fund them. And it's not just what happens there, but the message that the company is sending, which is that as an employee, if you think you can use Facebook or mobile or some other kind of simple-to-use technology to help the business, we'll support you and help you. We won't tell you, that's not part of our technology plan, go back and do your job, because that sends the message, we're just not interested in innovation here.
So how do you think companies should respond to these trends and to the maybe decrease in productivity, which is somehow something that managers fear today?
Well, one of the first things that we suggest is that you have a policy about these new technologies, about appropriate use, rather than just blocking them. Because things like trying to block LinkedIn or Skype, for example, often turn out to backfire. People find ways to use them anyway on their smartphones or their home PCs. In one case, a company shut down Skype and found out that all of its customers in Vietnam and Pakistan were all up in arms because that's how they talked to the company. Suddenly that channel was cut off. So rather than blocking these technologies, you need a policy about what can you do when you reach out in social, what is appropriate, things like you must always do this with your name on it, not anonymously, that you have to remember you're an employee, and that there are regulations. You can't be tweeting about a new drug you're working on if you're at a pharmaceutical company. And I think also companies need to develop a process so that people with innovations can be successful with them. We've got a tool in the book called the effort value evaluation, which is sort of a first step for if you have an idea, run it through there, and then you'll get a better understanding of where your challenges are, where your opportunities are, and just how big of a challenge you might be in on if you started with this project.
What would be the advices that you would give to marketing managers who are trying to deal with different channels to communicate to their customers? I mean, is there any modification in the function or in the responsibility of the marketing manager there?
Well, this is a real challenge for marketing, and the reason is because marketing is used to outbound messaging. I was just talking to a large retailer a couple of days ago about a problem just like this. They were interested in setting up a Facebook page, and they wanted to know what they were going to say on it. I said, no, you're focusing on the wrong thing. The question is, what will your customers say, and how will you encourage them to share the things that they feel and the things that you feel are worth sharing? So the challenge for marketing departments is to start by saying, what messages do we have that are shareable among our customers? How can we get the word of mouth of our customers to be a positive force? And then to change the way they do marketing to address that. I'll just add here that the first half of the book is structured around 4 principles for doing that. Identify mass influencers, find the small number of people who are responsible for most of the word of mouth out there, deliver groundswell customer service to make sure that negatives don't spread, empower with mobile information because your most influential customers are the ones who make the mobile demands. You need to serve them. And then finally, amplify fan activity. Find the people who like your company and find ways to get them to be able to take the way they feel about your company and your products and actually spread that information to others.